What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Matthew Kaufman. If you're new, consider subscribing, give it a like. I know it's been a while since I've posted anything, but I really have no excuse, so here we are today. I'm guessing just like myself, all of you are probably stuck inside, staying at home, just like that we need to be doing right now. I'm kind of going insane, so that's why I'm making this video. The big thing going on right now, obviously, is the coronavirus, and I don't know about you guys. I'm lucky enough to have a job where I can still work from home. I know a lot of people aren't necessarily lucky enough to be in that same situation. I know in the month of March alone, there was over 10 million people that had applied for unemployment. Damn! Which is incredible and terrifying at the same time. And for that reason, obviously a lot of people are worrying about their money. And I think what this entire situation has kind of showed us is that a lot of people necessarily don't save enough money for situations like this where emergencies might happen. And I would definitely say that this is for sure an emergency. And for that reason, in this video, what I'm going to do is cover financial tips during the coronavirus quarantine. I know right now there's a lot of panic going on right now, whether it has to do with food shortages at grocery stores, health concerns to income and financial worries. A lot of people are starting to panic buy more than we actually need, and what that's doing, it's kind of hitting our wallets hard. A lot of people aren't used to buying, 2-3 times the amount of food that we normally purchase. And I think right now a super important thing is prioritizing where money is actually going. And this might not fully apply to people that maybe are still working or able to work full-time from home, so they're getting the same income that they normally would have if they were going to work in person. This is more likely going to be directed toward people who are stuck at home, who maybe have lost their job, or maybe they're not making nearly enough or as much as what they were making before from their jobs. I was speaking to someone just recently and they were telling me that they themselves have been on disability recently. They've yet to receive that disability check, and their partner also was laid off entirely from their job, and their company has closed down since. So it's definitely hitting a lot of people in a lot of different ways. But once again, I think prioritizing where money is going is super important right now. At this point, it's April 6th, and we don't know how much longer this whole thing is going to go on for. It could be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, could be 2 months, or 4 months.
Many months later.
We really don't know. So if you're kind of in a bind right now when it comes to money, be sure to listen to what I'm going to tell you next. Simple things like paying our credit card bills obviously needs to continue. But when it comes to money, if we're especially strapped for money right now there's a lot of different companies where you can call up, including possibly your credit card company, and you can speak to them and ask if they can give you an extension or if they have some type of special thing going on right now that could help you out in the long run. At the very least, obviously you need to continue making your minimum payments on your credit card, but definitely give them a call and at the very least speak to them to see maybe what they can do for you if possible, and anything. And right now it is early spring, so a lot of times for families who have kids, there are spring activities that are starting up, such as Little League or something like that, where additional money generally is being shelled out for those things. But because obviously none of those things are actually going on because of the current coronavirus and the quarantine, that money obviously is able to go elsewhere at this time. If you're able to, that money needs to go into savings, because once again, like I said before, we don't know how long this thing is going to go on for. I think one of the biggest struggles for a lot of people and families especially are having emergency fund for situations like this. Money that's set aside in case, whether it's a medical emergency, whether it's property damage or insurance that needs to be paid, or car issues, or whatever it is, there needs to be money set aside, so just in case you're ready. And since there's so many things that we're not spending money on right now, we have to prioritize and make sure we are spending money on the right things. Everything's uncertain right now. We have no idea what's going to happen next. And probably one of the best things you can do for yourself right now is create a financial plan to help you get through what's going to be a tough time. And once again, we don't know how long it's going to last. So like I said, what I want to do is share some financial tips so you can hopefully get through this and past it, hopefully as unscathed as possible when it's all done with. My number one tip right now is going to be getting your tax refund. File your taxes electronically immediately and get your refund direct deposited. And tax season looks totally different than what it usually does the majority of years. Normally April 15th is the deadline, but now because of everything that's been going on with the virus, the government's pushed it back to July 15th. So for that reason, obviously you have 3 extra months to get your taxes input. But my big issue with this is that when you do your taxes, a lot of people obviously hope to get a refund. For some people that's going to be the case, but for other people you might owe the government money. And for the people that can assume that they're probably going to owe the government money, yeah, maybe you do want to wait till close to July 15th, because that's also obviously money that you're keeping for yourself that normally you'd be pushing and paying to the government. Versus if the government owes you money, why would you wait? That's just money that the government's holding from you that you could just immediately get if you were to do your taxes. And the next thing that obviously everybody's talking about right now are the stimulus checks. And that is per person a $1,200 stimulus check. And obviously this isn't a check that's going to be sent out to everybody. It's solely based off of your income per year, more specifically last year's income. So if the government views that you already make enough money to begin with, probably you're not going to get it. But if you make under a specific amount, you're more than likely to get it. And the way the stimulus check is kind of figured out right now from the government's point of view is that single adults who have an adjusted gross income of $75,000 or less will get the full $1,200 stimulus check. Married couples who earn under $150,000 per year, each person will get $1,200. So for the couple, obviously, they'll get $2,400. And for families that have children that are 16 and under, per child will receive $500 each. And those payments are expected to land in people's bank accounts within the next 3 weeks at some point. But for people that are harder to reach, it could be a little longer for them. This is a direct deposit based off of your last year's income tax. So if it was direct deposit, it's gonna be very easy. For the people that didn't do direct deposit, it's gonna take longer most likely. Next up is gonna be review recurring and non-essential expenses. Once again, like I mentioned in the beginning, what you need to do is consider where specifically your money is going and redirect it where it needs to go right now. And I think for a lot of people today, saving money could be as simple as just canceling your Hulu account because maybe you watch Netflix a little more.
This is my way of living, and nobody's gonna tell me any otherwise.
And in the end, you're just wasting money by having both. Another one for a lot of people, including myself, is gonna be a gym membership. Right now, every fitness center in the entire country is shut down. So for a place that you're normally paying, minimum $10 a month, if not more, most likely for most, you're wasting your money. I personally have Amazon subscriptions. If you're not using them, cancel them. Once again, that's wasted money, money that you're not using currently, money that needs to go elsewhere, whether it could be your emergency fund, whether it could be toward other bills, whether it could be, paying your credit card off, loans, whatever it may be. And this is kind of one and the same when it comes to music streaming. That could be, if you have a Spotify account, that could be if you have Apple Music. There's plenty of free options. Pandora is completely free. You can use Spotify for free. You don't have to pay the monthly fee. You could watch YouTube videos, whatever it may be. There's no reason to spend wasted money. An important one that is right now kind of keeping me sane actually is gonna be things like around your house that could be just like DIY stuff. So services that you can do yourself, whether that be yard work, whether that be home maintenance. And right now, once again, it's springtime now. It's starting to get a little bit warmer outside. So if you have the opportunity, get outside. It's gonna give you opportunity to maybe move around a little bit, exercise possibly. Whether it's raking the yard, doing the leaves, whether it's painting your house, who knows? Just do something. You don't have to always pay somebody else to do a job that in the end you could do yourself, especially right now, the fact that you have so much free time more than likely. I think one that I'm still struggling with, and my guess a lot of people are food. We're stuck inside and we have the kitchen right there, or we're ordering food all the time, we have delivery services and all this other stuff. More than likely, we're probably spending more money than we need to on food. In the state that I live in, we have something called Peapod, and what that is a grocery delivery service. So you just go on their website, you put in, specifically what food items that you want. After a couple days or weeks or however long it's currently taking, because it's probably backed up right now, it gets delivered straight to your house. So there's no excuse, especially for those people that are possibly scared to leave their house right now because of the virus. And since obviously, like I said before, we're all stuck inside, online shopping is probably a huge problem for a lot of people. Since we're all sitting, on our couches, at our computers, whatever it is, just browsing the internet all the time. We have all these ads and pop-ups and all this stuff that is just like in our face all the time, telling us to buy, when in the end, a lot of us probably don't have the money to do so right now. Try to push off those urges for some time, or at least until everybody gets back to work and has money coming in again. And some things have free subscriptions. Something like Audible, which I know has, I want to say it's like a free trial at the beginning. If you have books, read books. If you have magazines, read magazines. There's plenty of free podcasts, obviously. I think one of the best things right now, because we're stuck at home, try to educate yourself, whether it's read a book, whether it's listen to an informational podcast or something. Just do something that's going to keep your brain stimulated. Next up, what I already mentioned for the most part, is going to be thinking about your savings. If you haven't already, open a high yield savings account. And if you're able to, create that emergency fund, whether it be 2 months, 4 months, if you can, 6 months, because once again, we don't know how long this thing's going to last for. And if you're somebody that has planned prior to all this happening, then you probably financially aren't in that bad of a place. But if you've ever read anything about emergency funds and how the American population plans for it, the majority of people don't have one. Either they have one for maybe a week or two, but nothing more. And right now, if you know anything about anything, we've been in this for almost a month now. So that week or two is clear gone at this point. So make sure you have at least 6 months in an emergency fund if you can. And if you can't have 6 months, just start adding to it. Create a week, then 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Eventually it's gonna add up. And I understand a lot of people are waiting on maybe unemployment checks. But if you do have money coming in, put into that emergency fund. I think what this whole thing is gonna do for us after it's all said and done is force us to think about the future a little bit more. This whole thing kind of snuck up on us with virus, and nobody was prepared for it, obviously. Just look at the amount of people that have gone out and just bought toilet paper for some reason, which I still don't understand why there's such a need for toilet paper at all. If you never saved money before, you're probably going to start saving now. If you haven't, put money into, your IRA at work, 401k, whatever it is, you're probably going to now. Because the best thing to make someone do something is scare them. And that's exactly what this whole thing has done, is scare people. It scared us for our health. It scared us for our finances, obviously. If you can, start preparing now if you already haven't. I hope everybody's staying inside, staying healthy, trying to stay active as possible, keeping in contact with those people that you care about. Obviously not physical contact, but obviously with phones and computers and everything, we should have no excuse not to stay in contact with those people. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you've loved it, please subscribe. Once again, my name is Matthew Kaufman. We'll talk soon. Take care.